Today I discuss our Riemann integral. You can look on the screen that Riemann integral before defining one to this what is the partition? Partition of any interval a, suppose is a finite sequence of numbers of the form given below. A is equal to, we will take x0 and we will take n number of partitions. These are denoted by x0, x1, x2, x3. All are the next one are greater than from the earlier. And the last point, the last number will be equal to the boundary point of the corresponding last one. Initial point is equal to the boundary point and the last point will be also equal to the boundary point. So in this way we can generate any finite sequence where a number of points. So if we take any interval x2, x1, x3, any interval, these are called subinterval between any two consecutive interval. We can denote the interval as a subinterval. Now, what is mesh or norm of a partition? Mesh or norm is of a partition is if we take any two consecutive interval, the maximum of any two consecutive intervals, we can find out many consecutive intervals. So consecutive intervals. So the maximum of the consecutive intervals, we will get minimum or maximum many values. So one interval will give us a maximum value. So this in a sub interval which gives us maximum value, we will call this is the mesh or norm of the partition. Like you can take x4 minus x3 is giving us maximum value, max value. So this consecutive sub interval is called mesh of the whole partition. So this is mesh or norm. Now we'll go to define Riemann sums. Riemann sums is defined if we will take f, f is a function, a real valued function, and defined on interval ab, then the Riemann sum can be defined in this way: summation over I equal to 0 to n minus 1 f ti. Ti are all the take partition. Take partition means ti we will have many sub intervals. So ti will be any point between the sub interval, any point as we can choose. When if it is not defined, then we will take any point between the interval, and this is the distance between the subinterval, distance of the subinterval. So in this way, the Riemann sum is defined. Now we will denote the infimum of the Riemann sum. Infimum of the Riemann sum just defined in the same way, but we will take the function's value at the take point in this way that the value of the at any subinterval, the take point gives infimum. Means if we draw in this way a graph, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. If we take in this way any function, so if this is I'm taking xi, this is xi plus 1, So you can look this. This is the minimum value. So this will take infimum ti here. This is ti and this is fti. So when we will find out um, um, infimum, we will take this distance. So the sum of this distance and the difference between the distance between the of the subinterval, and if we take the summation overall intervals, this is a one subinterval. If we will take all the subintervals in this way, then we will get the uh, lower remnant sum, and the upper remnant sum can find out if we take the maximum. You can look this is giving maximum. This part is giving maximum. I am taking this is ti. I am taking this is ri. So if we get it ri point, then fri will be the suprema, and we will consider an upper dimension, the suprema of the functions at any subinterval. At any subinterval, the max suprema or maximum value of the function. So all the collections in this way, with taking the distance of the subinterval, we will get upper Riemann sum. Now, if f is continuous, this function is continuous. Here it is continuous, so both will find out equal. But if f is not continuous, then it can be different. So for any real valued functions, it is continuous or not, it depends that Riemann sum will get equal or not, lower and upper. So it can be different or same. If it is same, then we will get Riemann sum limits exist. So Riemann integral actually defined in this way. If this summation, which I have already explained, if is equal to, I am taking the lower Riemann sum and upper sum Riemann sum are equal. I am just taking, and S is the limiting point. Then if the difference mod of the difference between this summation Riemann sums and the limiting point is very less than 0, I mean to say tending to 0, then only we can say that Riemann sum has a limit point and it is integral. So it fully depends on the continuity of the function. Now we will give some examples. Like take this. It is very easy. Definite integral is defined minus a to a. This is mod of x dx is equal to, the four options are given. So you can look on this scheme that it can be, this definite integral can be divided into two parts, from minus a to 0 and from 0 to a. So mod of x in at negative value is equal to minus x, at positive value is equal to x. So just solving it, we will find out this definite integral is equal to a square. So this option is true. Now it is very easy problem. Now I am going to some harder problem. Here it is given that let f be a bounded and integrable uh, on the closed interval ab. Then we have to find out that uh, actually f is bounded and integrable. So here actually defined that the function f is defined in this way. it's a primitive derivative f capital Fx is equal to integral from a to x ft dt, where x b can be any point between a to b. Now if f is continuous, then there exists a point C. It is the property from integrability that if f is continuous from this function, if f is continuous, we'll have we can find out a point C between a to b such that if integration of ft from a to x dt is equal to fc x minus a. So we can write down this is equal to fx. So this will be in this form. Now first derivative of this x will equal to fc. So we are finding out that this function's derivative at any point between the interval a to b is equal to fc. Means the since f is continuous, so fc, we can find out a point where the first derivative of this function will be equal to all of the point fc, all are equal to fc. So we must have so we can find out a point c also, because this is true for all points here from A to B. So we can take C point also, and we will have this form. This is true. And also we can look this, that first derivative of fx is just equal to a single point. So it must be uniformly convergent, continuous. It's just single point. First derivative of this function is equal to a single point. So it must be uniformly continuous. I'm not going, this is a different topic. I'm not going more. Now to take an example related to the Riemann integral. Here a function is defined f from closed interval -1 to 1 to real numbers, we define by in this way: fx is equal to -1 when x is rational number, x belongs to set of rational numbers, and 1 when x belongs to irrational numbers. Means real numbers complement rational numbers, irrational numbers. So if we take the difference, if this is a graph from -1 to 1 on x-axis, if we will take rational points, then this will be the actual graph of if x are rational numbers, then this will be the graph. Actually this graph will represent fx, and if x is irrational numbers, then this graph will represent the function fx. So we wish to know this is actually integrable or not, Riemann integral or not. So we'll take first lower Riemann sum. So lower Riemann sum, we can look this, that from -1 to 1, the lower fx is minimum, uh, minimum at the point at fx value is minimum for all for all x. Actually, if we consider rationals, this is -1. Actually, I mean to say infimum value is -1. Fx minimum minimum value for rational x is rational numbers is -1. So we'll take -1, and this will give us -2. The lower Riemann sum -2. And if we take the upper Riemann sums, then here fx actually will get the supremum value between the -1 to 1, between the interval -1 to 1 is 1. So, supremum value if we put here 1, we'll get it 2. So lower Riemann sum is equating to -2, and upper is equating to equaling to 2. negative, positive. So both are not equal. If both are not equal, then Riemann integral is not possible for it. This just lower and upper sums exist, but no, both are not equal. So Riemann sum not not possible. Riemann integral. Now another problem here they also given is more harder. Here from a closed interval f 0 to 1 to real numbers be defined by in this way, fx minus 1 to the power r minus 1 when x belongs to 1 by r plus 1 less than equal to 1 by r belongs to natural numbers, set of natural numbers, and when x is equal to 0 this will be 0. So here if we represent in diagram, actually this will be I have written here in the function again, fx is minus 1 to the power r minus 1. If we put r belongs to set of natural numbers, if we put these values, we'll get from half to 1, this graph is fx represents this graph, and when f is r is equal to 2, r is equal to 1, then this is actually 1, its value is 1. When r is equal to 2, then this will be between uh, 1 by third to 1 by 2. This will be 1 by third to 1 by 2. So this will be the graph, but its value will be minus 1. When r is equal to 3, this will be 1 by 4, 1 by 4 to 1 by third. So this will be again in upper positive value. So you can look this from this graph that this is fully discontinuous. For one part, for in r is equal to 1 it is positive, r is equal to 2 is if x is negative, r is equal to 3 it is positive. So this is fully discontinuous. So we'll check first Riemann integral possible or not. If we find out the upper Riemann, then it will be the minimum value. You can look that minimum value exists minus 1 for upper, for the upper Riemann sums, and the maximum value or supremum value of the function is 1 and the infimum value is minus 1. So if we take the supremum value, this will be 1, and the mm, uh, full actually the interval, this will be 1 minus 0, this will be 1, and the lower Riemann sum, this will be the infimum value of the function minus 1, and the interval 1 minus 0, this will be minus 1. So both are unequal, so here Riemann integral cannot be possible. Now last problem I'm showing, this is also very important. Here also f is given from the interval 0 1 to real numbers defined in this way: 0 when x is irrational, and 1 by q when x is equal to p by q. Here p and q are both positive numbers and prime to each other. So how we can represent this? I have drawn a diagram here. You can look this diagram just touching to 0, but and nearing to the 0 but not equal to 0. If we will take x is irrational, 0 is taken as a irrational, so we will get that fx will touch 0 point, and here the graph touches at the maximum. If we will take p and q 1 1, 1 1 is also prime, means GCD, gross common divisor, must be equal to 1. So greatest common divisor must be 1. So if we take 1 1, then we will get this diagram actually. Mm, this is 0 1 point. So fx will be this point we will get 1 1. this will be 1 and this will be 1, and then again decreasing the function. If we will put all the points considering, so we will just consider from uh, 1 to 0 to 1. So from 0 to 1 we are finding that this is a continuous. From 0 to 1 it is continuous. So we have to check out that it is integral or not. So look here, lower Riemann sum is actually uh, for any interval. We take any interval here. For any interval actually, for if we take this is a decreasing, so we'll get its infimum value is 0 and its supremum value is 1 by q. So uh, infimum value always for any interval must be 0. So the lower Riemann sum must be equal to 0 and upper will be uh, if the interval here you can look if the if, in this interval the mm, if the point is rational actually, then it will be 1 by q. So the supreme value will be 1 by q, or in better actually p by q, actually p by q, not 1 by q, actually p by q. So we have to take here p by q actually will be, if we note this here, that for any interval sub interval, the maximum value of the function must be p by q. 1 by q actually less than p by q, because p and q both are positive integers. So p by q is the max supremum for any interval sub interval. This will be p by q, but if we take p is finite and q is tending to infinity, and in this way if we arrange the partition or refinement, then this will tend to 0. P by q, if q is tending to infinity, tends to infinity, then p by q tends to 0. So this will be 0 and the distance between the interval is 1. So upper and lower we can find out that both are equal to 0. So this is integrable and the Riemann integrations value is 0. So in this way I have just explained how Riemann integral can be defined and the what is partition mesh